All right, so today let's dig into something that I think is super relevant to a lot of you out there. AI for business. And like not just the theoretical stuff, but like how it can actually, make your work life better. We're looking at a couple of things today. We've got XR1 AI's whole approach. They've got a cool website and some interesting case studies. And then there's this guide.
Hmm.
I think it's called the roadmap to using AI or something like that. So think of this deep dive as like your cheat sheet. We're going to figure out if AI is all hype
Hmm.
or if it can actually change the game for you.
Yeah, exactly. We want to cut through all the noise and give you something practical, something you can actually use.
Totally.
Yeah.
And one thing that really stood out to me about XR1 AI is that they're really into these proof of concept projects. Like it's almost like dipping your toes in the water before you do a full cannonball into the AI pool.
I like that analogy.
Does that resonate with you? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of where you see businesses starting?
Absolutely. The roadmap guide actually talks about this too. It's all about starting small, proving the value, and then scaling from there.
Okay, so it's about managing risk, right?
Yeah,
Especially if you're like, I don't know, hesitant to go all in on AI right away.
exactly. You got to see that return on investment.
So, listener, while we're kind of setting the stage here, what's your biggest question mark around AI in your work? Like, what's that one thing you're really hoping we clear up for you today?
Hold on to that thought because we're going to cover a lot of ground. We're talking benefits, practical steps, and even those gotcha moments you definitely want to avoid.
Yeah. And one thing I see tripping businesses up is this idea that AI is all about replacing jobs,
Yeah.
which is just not the case.
Yeah.
It's way more nuanced than that. Like XR1 AI talks about using AI to automate tasks and create super personalized customer experiences. But like, what does that actually look like in real life?
Right. So let's say you're in manufacturing. The roadmap actually gives this example of using AI for something called predictive maintenance. So imagine you've got AI analyzing data from your equipment like in real time, and it can actually predict a breakdown before it even happens.
Whoa, that's wild.
It is. And that's not just about efficiency, it's about potentially saving you a ton of money and headaches down the line.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Real world impact. But how do you even know if your business is ready to like jump into the AI world? It feels like there's got to be more to it than just buying a fancy new software.
You're right. Both sources are very clear about this. You need a realistic self-assessment.
Okay, so like what does that mean exactly?
So, for example, do you have the right kind of data? Is it organized in a way that AI can actually use?
So it's like AI needs something to learn from, right?
Exactly. Think of it like baking a cake. You wouldn't start without flour, eggs, and sugar, right?
Okay.
Data is your key ingredient here.
Okay, that makes total sense. But it's not just about like the data itself, is it?
Yeah.
You need to know what to do with it.
You hit the nail on the head. Do you have those in-house data wizards? Or would partnering with an expert like XR1 AI be more beneficial at this stage?
Right, it's like knowing your strengths and when to call in the reinforcements.
Exactly.
Okay, so self-awareness is key.
Hmm.
And this is actually where I'm really interested in those proof of concept projects that XR1 AI offers. It's like a test drive before you commit to buying the car, right?
Precisely. And their case studies on their website really drive this point home. They've got one called OSHAGTT.ai. Basically, they used AI to make workplace safety regulations easy to understand. Like no more sifting through mountains of legal jargon.
Oh.
You ask them a question and the AI finds the answer.
Wow, that's huge.
Right.
Especially for businesses that don't have, a whole legal team on call.
I know, right?
And then there's that other one, holybook.ai, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah, that one's
They
fascinating.
used AI to make the King James Bible more accessible.
They even used it to generate sermon outlines.
It's amazing how AI can be applied in so many different ways.
It really is.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground just now, the potential of AI, the need for the right data and expertise, and even the power of starting small with those PayPals. But I feel like there's more to the story, right? Like with all this potential, there must be some things to watch out for.
Oh, absolutely. Totally. Like it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
What are some things that people should actually be like, mindful of as they're going down this AI road?
Well, the roadmap really stresses this one thing. You got to make sure AI aligns with your overall business strategy. It shouldn't be like this separate thing, you know?
It's got to fit into the bigger picture.
Exactly. Think of it like weaving AI into everything you do.
Oh, I like that.
Supporting your goals, your
This
processes.
is not just about having the coolest AI.
Mhm.
It's about having AI that actually like does something for you.
Right. And that actually brings up another super important point, data privacy.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about that.
No way. We talked about how important it is to have the right data, but it's just as important to handle that data responsibly.
Especially these days, right? Like one data breach and you're in trouble.
Totally. And it's not just about like, keeping things secure. Transparency is huge too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Your customers, your employees, they deserve to know how their data is being used.
Absolutely. Especially when AI is involved.
Right. It's all about building trust.
And being upfront about how you're using AI to, make things better, not to be creepy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this all ties into this idea of like responsible AI development. XR1 AI actually talks about this on their website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're big on building AI systems that are fair, unbiased, and accountable.
So it's not just about what AI can do, but like how it does it.
You got it.
And how do you even ensure that? Like, how do you make sure your AI isn't biased or whatever?
Well, it takes constant work. It's not like you just set it and forget it.
Right. It's got to be adjusted over time.
Exactly. You have to constantly monitor for bias, make sure everything is accurate.
And I imagine that's an ongoing process.
Oh, absolutely. AI is constantly evolving, so you got to evolve with it.
It's like you're raising a child or something. You got to guide it and make sure it's not going off the rails.
I love that analogy.
Okay, so we've talked about like the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
But what about the actual implementation of AI?
Right, so how do you actually get started?
Yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
All right, so the roadmap breaks it down into a few key steps, and it starts with defining your objective.
Okay, so like what does that mean exactly?
There's basically, you need to figure out what specific problem you're trying to solve with AI.
So it's like setting a destination for your AI journey.
I like that. You got to know where you're going before you can plan the route.
And that probably involves figuring out what data you need, right?
Exactly. Do you have the data in-house, or do you need to collect it from somewhere else?
And then, of course, you got to make sure that data is like, clean and organized and all that.
Right, and that's actually where a lot of businesses get tripped up. Data preparation can be super time-consuming,
Oh, I bet.
but it's essential.
It's like prepping for a big feast. You wouldn't just throw all the ingredients in a pot without, like, washing and chopping them first.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so once your data is all prepped and ready, what's next?
Well, then comes the fun part. Choosing the right AI tools and technologies.
Oh, boy. I bet that can be overwhelming.
It can be. There are so many options out there.
Right, it's like trying to pick out a new phone. There's so many features and specs, and it's like, where do you even begin?
Totally. And that's actually where a company like XR1 AI can be super helpful.
Oh, right, because they're the experts.
Exactly. They can help you navigate everything and choose the tools that are right for you.
So it's about finding that balance between, like, powerful capabilities and something that you can actually use.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got your tools. Now, what?
Now it's time to build and train your AI model.
Ooh, this is where things get really technical, I bet.
It can be, but that's also where the magic happens.
So you need like a whole team of data scientists for this, right?
Not necessarily. There are actually a lot of AI platforms that offer pre-trained models.
Oh, so you don't have to build everything from scratch.
Exactly. You can customize these pre-trained models to fit your needs.
That's pretty cool.
It is. And then once your model is trained, you're ready to deploy it.
Okay, so like, what does deployment actually involve?
Basically, it's about integrating the AI into your existing workflows.
So it's all about making it seamless, right?
Right. You want the AI to feel like a natural extension of your business, not like some clunky add-on.
Totally.
And then, of course, once it's deployed, you need to keep an eye on it.
Oh, right, like monitoring and evaluation and all that.
Exactly. You got to track how the AI is performing, see if there are any areas for improvement.
It's like a continuous process of learning and optimizing. And that's where having a trusted guide can be super valuable, right? Like XR1 AI, we've talked a lot about them and how they're trying to make AI more accessible.
Right.
Can you remind us again why that's so important?
Well, it's about making sure that AI isn't just for like, the big players, the ones with tons of money and resources.
Right. It's got to be accessible to everyone.
Exactly. Like AI has the potential to help businesses of all sizes across all industries.
It's like democratizing innovation or something.
Totally. And that's what I really like about XR1 AI's approach. They're making AI less scary.
Yeah.
Less intimidating.
So it's not just for like, the tech geniuses anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about those proof of concept projects, but what makes them so special? Like, why not just hire any AI consultant?
Well, it's all about customization and results. With XR1 AI, you're not getting some prepackaged solution.
Right. They actually take the time to understand your business.
Exactly. Your goals, your challenges, your data.
It's like they're making you a custom suit. But instead of fabric, it's like algorithms and data.
I like that.
And that's why those PPARCs are so effective. It's not just theory. It's about building something that actually works for you.
Exactly.
And they've got those case studies on their website. like that OSHADPT.ai project we talked about. They took something as complex as workplace safety regulations and made it easy to understand with AI.
Right. No more digging through pages and pages of legal jargon.
It's like having an on-demand safety expert.
Exactly.
And then there's Holybook.ai. Using AI to make the Bible more accessible. It seems like a totally different world, but it actually highlights something really important about AI.
What's that?
It shows you just how versatile AI can be.
Oh, right.
Like, we tend to think of AI as this very practical business tool, but then you see something like Holybook.ai, and it makes you realize that AI can be used for so much more.
Totally. It's about thinking outside the box.
Exactly. All right, so we've covered a lot today. What's like the one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing to remember is this. AI is a tool. It's a powerful tool that can transform your business, but it's not a magic solution.
Right, it's not like you just plug it in and everything is instantly better.
Exactly. It takes work, it takes planning, and it takes a commitment to doing things the right way.
And that's where those power keys can be so helpful.
Yep.
It's a way to test the waters before you dive in headfirst.
Absolutely.
AI doesn't have to be scary. It can be accessible.
And even fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So be bold, be curious, and most importantly, be responsible as you explore the world of AI. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.